What if I told you that you could get serious telephoto reach, perfect for portraits, compression, wildlife, and detail shots without spending thousands of dollars or carrying a heavy, massive lens? That's exactly where the Tamron 70-300mm for the Sony E-Mount comes in. And one of the biggest reasons people are drawn into this lens is the price. Right now in Canada, you can find it for around $500 on Amazon brand new, which is incredibly affordable for a full frame telephoto zoom. So the question is, does this lens actually deliver where it matters, or are you sacrificing too much to get the kind of reach at this price? Today, I'm gonna give you a breakdown of this lens from a real world perspective, especially if you're someone who shoots portraits or wants to expand into telephoto photography. And at the end of this video, you'll be able to decide if this lens is for you. If you're new here, my name is RJ, and on this channel, it's all about photography, filmmaking, and real world gear reviews to help you make smarter, creative decisions. Now, I've used this lens for about 4 years now, and today we are taking a deep dive into this Tamron telephoto zoom lens to see if this is the right one for you. Now, right away, the first thing you'll notice about this lens is that how light it is for what it offers. I mean, it comes in at just about 500 grams, which is extremely lightweight for a lens that goes all the way to 300mm. That makes a huge difference if you're shooting for long periods or carrying your gear around all day. This has been my favorite telephoto lens, especially when I'm traveling, just because it's super lightweight. The design is very typical of the other Tamron lenses. It's minimal, clean, and fairly straightforward. There are no switches or buttons on the lens, just a zoom ring and a focus ring, and the build is mostly plastic, but it feels solid and well put together. It's also moisture resistant, which is nice if you're shooting outdoors. Now, one thing to know is that there's no built-in image stabilization in this lens, so you'll be relying on your camera's in-body stabilization if it has it. For most modern Sony bodies though, that's not a huge issue, but it's something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about the focal range, because this is really where the lens stands out. 70-300mm gives you a ton of versatility on the telephoto end. At 70mm, you're already in great range for portraits. You get natural compression and flattering facial proportions. As you zoom in towards the 135, 200, and even 300mm, you get stronger and stronger compression, which is amazing for isolating your subject and creating that blurred background look. I feel that this is where the lens really shines, especially for portrait photographers. If you like that clean, compressed look with lots of background separation, this gives you that in a way that wider lenses simply cannot. It's also great for things like wildlife, sports, or just capturing details from far away. You can frame shots that would be impossible with a standard zoom lens. It's great for getting candid street photography or videography as well, because you've got that distance, so you won't be too invasive. In terms of image quality, this lens performs surprisingly well for the price. It's sharp, especially in the mid-range between 70 and 200mm. Even at 300mm, it still holds up pretty well, although you'll notice a slight drop in sharpness compared to the shorter focal lengths, obviously, but it's not gonna be that noticeable. Colors and contrast are solid, and overall the images have a clean, natural look to them. It's not a high-end G Master lens, but for what you're paying, the performance is honestly very, very impressive. Autofocus is fast and quiet thanks to Tamron's RXD motor. It works well for both photos and videos, and it pairs nicely with Sony's autofocus system. Tracking is reliable even when you're shooting at longer focal lengths, which is important because any small movement gets exaggerated when you're zoomed in that far. Now, one of the trade-offs with this lens is the aperture. It's not a constant aperture lens. It starts at f4.5 at 70mm and closes down to f6.3 as you zoom in. That means in low light, you're gonna need to raise your ISO more than you would with something like a 70-200 f2.8 lens, and you won't get quite as much background blur as those faster lenses either. That's one drawback about this lens. That said, because you're working at longer focal lengths, you can still achieve a really nice background separation, especially at 200 or 300mm. The compression helps create that separation even with a narrower aperture. For real-world use, this lens is perfect for photographers who want to explore telephoto shooting without spending a huge amount of money. If you're into outdoor portraits, lifestyle shoots, or even just experimenting with longer focal lengths, this is a great entry point. It's also ideal for travel or hiking because it gives you a lot of reach without adding much weight to your pack. However, if you're shooting a lot in low light or you need the absolute best image quality and subject isolation, you might find the variable aperture limiting. This lens is more about value and versatility than top-tier performance. Overall, the Tamron 70-300mm is a really solid option. It's lightweight, affordable, and gives you access to a range of focal lengths that can completely change the way you shoot and mix up your content in a good way. It's not trying to compete with high-end professional telephoto lenses or your G Master lenses, but for the price, it delivers a lot more than you might expect. And honestly, if you've never really shot at 200 or 300mm before, this lens will completely change how you create things and will definitely add flavor to your photos and videos. And that's it for today. Hope this video gave you the confidence you need to make a decision whether this lens is for you or not. And as always, I'd appreciate it if you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like these. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.